And we are live.
All right, all right.
Hey,
Baldur's
yes,
Gate with
yes,
Mo
Baldur's
Rebuttal.
Gate, um, session 17. So on honor mode, we've got re-examination here with us already. We just had a very interesting discussion on morality. That got kind of deep, going over Twitter threads with T-Jump. So we'll see if
Yeah,
where that goes.
yeah. Now, Mo, you had commented on my stream where I was with Elinix for a bit and mostly Steelborn when we were going over the T-Jump debate. And I'm going to check my comments here. Hopefully somebody can tell me whether or not the audio is coming through on my end. But you had said it was a good debate to review. I don't know if you're going to be taking the time to review that one yourself on your own, but there was definitely a lot of avenues. And I don't think I've ever seen Steelborn hold his head that hard before.
Yeah, it was. It seemed to actively be causing him brain cancer the more he listened to it. It was interesting. It did the T jumps morality system of if will is infringed upon, and that kind of being the basis is an interesting one, and it spawns many questions. So one of them being kind of what we were discussing of, okay, give me the question you posed to him about the baby. Where
Yes.
if it.
So the question I gave to him was, let's say you were pregnant and you were at the stage where the baby was not conscious yet, but you removed its arms before it was conscious, so that by the time it was born, it would be a human with no arms. Would you have done something wrong, even though there was no will to speak of, to have violated by removing those arms? And he said yes, because you would be, in future tense, limiting that person's ability to do things and thus their will. Something along those lines. That you've hampered their potential. Something like that.
Right. So, but and kind of tackling that or kind of dissecting that and thinking that through, that does seem to imply that the morality claim is based on knowing the outcome to some degree. So if you don't have access to the outcome of every situation, how can you ever make a moral claim? And that's what I'm hoping to pose to T-Jump if he replies, if we can kind of have an exchange. But we'll see how it goes, because I don't see how that's a really good grounds to stand on. I think it has a lot of holes to it.
Yeah, ultimately it was just more descriptive than prescriptive, I would have to say. And he would say you can have morality without prescriptions, but that's just like saying you can have directions without a destination.
Yeah, the not having prescriptions or oughts is an odd one. I don't know how you think that logically makes sense, because if it's just a descriptive claim, just having knowledge of something doesn't give you the motivation to do anything with it. Like, where's the motivation coming from if you don't have an ought, some sort of ought claim, like you ought to do this, or having a prescription of what you should be doing?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because even in the discussion, I would say should to him, or I'd say ought, or all that kind of stuff, and yet he would say, "Oh, there are no oughts. There's no prescriptive da 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 da." But then later, if somebody's like, "Well, what if I'm a kid? Can I like punch my mom?" And he's like, "No, you can't punch your mom." He said the word "can't," and same thing with here's a rule that came in the debate. You probably remember this. If you are God and you make people, those people get to choose their own free will. Once you've made something with a will, you cannot violate that. That would be immoral. I was like, even if you made physics, which is what you say you base morality on, even if you make the world by which these people are going to live in, and you make the people in them for your purposes, you still can't tell them what to do and not to do. And he's like, no, that would be immoral in all possible worlds. Yeah, which again, if you made it, you have property rights over it. And if you're God, you're gonna be so much more profound. It's not just like he's treating God and human beings like some kind of one-to-one. Well, God is a will, and you have a will, and therefore it's like your neighbors on the same street. It's just comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't help but think that it's just in all these different like morality frameworks where they try to ground it on something that they can appeal to. It just to me seems like more of making themselves their own god. That basically what it's like your will. So by your will, then you are moral or not, versus having any kind of framework that would go in line with Christian ethics and the nature of God. It just, to me, that just seems inevitably what all these things boil down to. It's just like another version, same burger, slightly different flavor of I'm my own God, I'm my own moral compass. That's what it just seems to me is the same thing over and over again. It just seems to repeat.
Oh yeah, it is, and that's what makes it. I hate to throw on the word satanic all the time because it makes it sound like a weirdo, but in the sense of where he says that the best possible world for everybody is a place where you're basically alone and you get to have your own universe, which would make you what? God.
Right.
And it sounds just like Satan in the garden. In terms of like you will be like God. Don't listen to God. Go against what God says, and you'll be like God.
Yeah.
So
what's up,
yeah.
K2? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah.
So I tried to stream it on my end, by the way, and it did not work. The audio, I think, was drawing from the camera because my stream, your stream, I'm doing it from my microphone, but I can't do it from my microphone into both Riverside and StreamYard simultaneously.
Oh, you're trying to do Riverside and StreamYard at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't really know much about Riverside.
Yeah. So what I tried to do was try and take your live stream and use the audio from the live stream and not talk. I guess I could try again, but what I would try and do is like have the audio from the stream play into the broadcast, and then I would have my mic off, I suppose. Maybe that was the issue. I could try again. Anyway, you were saying with best of all possible worlds as the one where you're alone on yourself, doing your own will.
Yeah, that's the well. Yeah, to your point, that means that you're basically God. I don't see how you don't. That descriptively, it's like you're God, like your own world, doing your own thing. Everything that you will is moral. Yeah, that it's kind of like this guy looked at or what he thought like a caricature of Christian ethics and went, I like that. I'm just gonna be God, and that's that's how he came up with this. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, especially if your will is the main thing. What the satanic mantra is, "Do as thou wilt."
Yeah. Hello, Maryland. I'll just say that. Hello, Maryland. I'll just leave it right there. Marilyn is doing her proselytizing of what she thinks is God, that we're all familiar with.
I wonder if she goes door to door saying, "Hi, worship me."
Yeah,
I am Marilyn.
Maybe hey Marilyn, you might have a little untapped potential there. You could start your own little, I guess, cult. I don't know. Go door to door and let everybody know they're God. What's up, Var? Good to see you. Long time no see. We're picking up where we left off. Let's see. I am trying. So this
There
new
we go.
thing doesn't seem to be working.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to go live again. I think I figured it out. I switched
Okay.
the audio to... No. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Let me check my... Let me refresh and see if T-Jump replied. Doesn't look like he's replied to my clarifying question yet. This is the kind of the situation where it would be better to have the verbal exchange, because with texts and on chats on X, you can kind of, like, he doesn't have to reply to me, right? He could just not reply, or he could also, anything that I throw at him, he could take it and just, you know, whether purposely or not, misunderstand the question and give me an answer what he thinks I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Var, I'm alive. There was quite a bit of shenanigans that went down, and then had some medical stuff to go through, but I'm back. So good to see all you. Marilyn says, we aren't leaders or followers of idol worshippers. Marilyn, what is an idol worshiper? What I've heard you say that quite a bit. Can you clarify what you mean by idol worshiper? What does that mean to you? Just curious. Doesn't look like this is gonna... Vara says, I heard you were dead. No, sir. No. No, I'm not dead.
He is the undead.
Reports,
He has become
reports of
zombified.
my demise were highly over-exaggerated. I got better.
I got better.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
Yeah, so
I thought I had a way to highlight chat, but it doesn't look like it's working. I must have done something wrong.
All right, I'm going to test something. I'm going to see if... Okay, he's got zero... Shapingro says he has 0 audio on my end. I'm trying to go through... Here's what I guess I got to do.
My... Bar says, my neighbor said you were dead. Well, your neighbor's a dirty freaking liar, okay? He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think his neighbor put out some kind of road spikes to try and get you. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe he did the whole James Bond plan. He set up a trap and he just assumed it was gonna work, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
No. Oh, actually, to clarify, I know I put the post out that I was in an accident. I never said it was a car accident. But I could have clarified what I meant by accident. I actually was not.
You were trying to run over a guy, and the accident was missing him.
Yeah. I actually wasn't in a car accident. I got. It was a trippy experience, but I got. Long story short, I went to give blood for the upcoming surgery, and when I went there. They had trouble tapping my left arm. Like, nurse was like digging around there forever, hurt like hell. And then where she stuck me, it wasn't flowing very well, right? Mm-hmm. And it was taking forever. And they were concerned that they weren't going to get a whole bag out of it. And I was like a half a bag or maybe a little over in by now. And so the head nurse comes over and she's looking at it, and I could tell a look on her face. She's like, and she like tries to move it around, and I could just tell she just wasn't happy. And I just looked at her and I said, look, would this be faster if you just stuck me again? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay, just do it. And so she goes on my right arm, sticks me, perfect. It starts flowing fine. Everything's fine on that side, right? But then I look at the bag that, I was previously filling up, and I said, I pointed at it, I was like, does that count? And she leans over close to me. She's like, well, technically, when the blood hits the bag, we're not allowed to stick you again. Like, given the circumstances, we're just not going to say anything. We're just going to draw the second thing. But no, it doesn't count. Like, okay. So I end up basically getting a bag and a half out of me, right? And which was fine. I was whatever. It's
morbid time.
I didn't really feel I didn't feel lightheaded or anything. I felt fine that day. I went in my truck, hydrated a little bit, ate a cookie, sat there to make sure I wasn't gonna pass out at the wheel or something on the way home. Once I felt good, I drove home and it was fine. Well, the next night, the next day, that night, I'm sitting there. It's late, and I was actually on a Speakeasies panel, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a little bit of whiskey. I haven't had any whiskey in a long time, so I got one of my bottles out, had a little bit, and I felt fine that night. I didn't feel bad. I was drinking more like crazy to try to, because whiskey obviously dehydrates you. And that was, so I was like, okay, that's good. So I felt good. I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. Went and got in bed, closed my eyes, and when I closed my eyes, the next thing that I remember is it was almost like a dreamscape, and I was talking to a group of people, and I don't know who they were. And in the middle of talking to them, suddenly everything went black. And I was still cognitive. I could think, but I couldn't feel. I couldn't see. I couldn't taste. I couldn't hear. But I could still think. And I didn't know where I was. And so, and for whatever reason in my head, I kept thinking, if I don't get out of this, I'm not going to make it. I don't know why I was thinking that. I just was. And I kept thinking that over and over again. And so I start trying to move my body. And slowly I start to kind of feel my legs and a few other things kind of come online. And I'm struggling and thrashing around. What I didn't know is that my wife found me. She said that morning I got up, nothing seemed out of the normal. I walked into the next room and I'm messing around with this closet, this cabinet type thing, and I disappear for a bit, and then she doesn't hear from me, so she goes to look for me, and I am face down in this cabinet, and I've pinned my right arm under my body, and I'm not moving. And so she's freaking out because she can't move me. And so she tries to call to me, can't get me to respond. Doesn't know what the hell's going on. Once she exhausts, what she thinks she can do, she calls EMS, right? So, okay, back to my perception now. So as I'm struggling and thrashing around, trying to figure out, where the hell am I? What happened? What's going on? Because I have no idea what's going on right now. I can slowly start to feel things come online, and one thing that starts to come back is my hearing starts to come back a little bit, and I hear my dogs barking, and so I think, okay, my dogs are barking. I know I'm at the house, and then a little while later, I'm still struggling, trying to force something to happen. I can hear my wife talking, and I can tell she's talking, but I can tell she's not talking to me. So I know she's there. I know I'm in the house, and I know she's talking to someone, but I don't know who she's talking to. And that's concerning because I don't know. That means someone's in the house with her. I'm thinking all this in the whole time, like this exact process. And so that makes me struggle even more, trying to get something going. And that goes on for a little bit, and then finally my vision starts to kind of come to, and I see a gloved hand come in and grab me, and it's like latex. And when I see that, I think, okay, that's EMS. Like, okay, everything's fine. And so they stand me up, and I was talking. I thought I was talking, but words weren't coming out. So I couldn't talk. And I was trying to button my shirt up. Couldn't get my left and right hand to work properly to do that. And my thought was like, okay, they're here. I don't really want them to take me. If I can stand up and show that I'm okay, they'll like, go away. And I sat there and tried to like get things working. And once I realized that like I couldn't do it and I couldn't even talk, I just kind of gave the motion like, okay, fine, just take me, whatever.
Yeah,
so
they
take me to the hospital. They pump me with like 3 bags of liquid. They did a bunch of scans. I had a concussion. Face was all busted up, black eye. I was a mess. I had a cut down my face. Wasn't deep enough for stitches. So
you look the same in black and white, at least.
Yeah. Well, I do have a little bit of a mark still that's under the, on this side. It hasn't completely gone away yet. But that was the most bizarre experience of my life, because I had no recollection of how I got there. From my point of view, I went to bed, and then the next thing was I thought I was talking to some people, and then everything went to black, and everything that I described. So
yikes!
It was a very bizarre encounter, very very bizarre situation.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So, but I'm not dead, Vara. Reports are exaggerated. All right,
citation needed.
Yeah, citation needed. Where's your source for this? Source?
Right.
Okay.
Next door neighbor.
But yeah, I don't getting dehydrated severely and a concussion. Don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Would not recommend doing it.
Yeah, I think I'll take that advice. By the way, you have the free version of StreamYard because I cannot stream to my channel from your instance here.
If it can be fixed.
So okay.
I tried to use Riverside to simul stream, and I'm thinking the only way that works.
What if you just inside StreamYards, you're using, there's a tab, right? There's a window. You could share the tab and then just stream that way, couldn't you?
That's what I was trying to do. It got my audio through my mic, so we could hear me. We couldn't hear you. Even you were the storyteller for the night. We couldn't hear your story on my stream. We could hear on your stream, of course. And we could hear me on your stream. But whatever I tried to do in Riverside, what I couldn't do was have the video.
Quick question, because I've ran into like this issue before. What browser are you using to share the tab from? Like, what browser are you running StreamYards in?
Brave.
Okay. There's only a few browsers, because, okay, when you share a tab, there's a check mark, depending on what browser you use, to include system audio, and that's what gives you the audio in the share. And there's only a few browsers that do that. Google is one, and the other is Microsoft Edge. There may be another one, but those are the two. So I would try, Microsoft Edge is, built into your Windows. I would try that. And then do the share, and make sure you check that box for the tab you share audio, because I ran the same issue, because I run for different reasons that I'm not really going to get into the details, because it's
you don't have to,
crazy. But the thing that I'm running StreamYards out of Firefox because it gives it the best look for different reasons, and doesn't shift around when I do things, or certain things rather. But when I'm sharing, I share from Microsoft Edge because of that reason. Var, I can't tell if you're trolling or not. I missed everything. Can you tell me what part of body you had problems with? I had problems with all the parts of body, Var. All of the above. Everything. I couldn't see, hear, taste, smell, or see. I mean, nothing. Nothing was working. I was just in blackness and I just could think. That was the only thing. The only part of my body that was working that I knew was my mind. That was it. So when you ask me what part, my answer is yes. It was all of it. While we wait for that, let's see. Let's talk to Karlak here and tell her what to... Don't worry, we'll find him.
I'm sure we will. But in case we don't, a bit of advice. You leave your left flank wide open. If I'm ever not
Do you
around to
have
cover
severe
it, you
heartburn?
may find yourself on the wrong side of a goblin spear one of these days.
Talking about me? Oh, her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got that internal engine thing going. That's her story arc, where she has like a metal heart.
Somebody got the volcano burrito from Taco Bell.
She just told me she's critiquing my battle strategy. She said in case she doesn't make it, which is, it's, sweet that she would say something like that, oh, here, let me tell you this, in case I explode. But she's also like talking gibberish. Like, I do not leave my left flank open. That's bullshit. My strategy is perfect. Anyway, resting. My guy's an elf. He doesn't actually sleep. He just sits there and like meditates. Imagine how much you could get done if you didn't actually have to sleep,
Yep. But we have to sleep.
But we have to sleep. I know. Well, I was reading something the other day. It says dogs can sleep for like 30 minutes, and they're basically ready to go. I don't know how true that is, but it sounded pretty cool. All right, let's see. Where is everybody?
Okay. So I opened up Chrome, and so I opened up Chrome. It says mic or cam in use of other app, whereas in Brave it didn't restrict my microphone or my. Actually, but you know what I could do is still share. Share screen. Window.
Make sure it's tab. Is the share tab?
So I pulled
an audio.
So I actually pulled this particular tab out and put it on my second monitor. Okay, so this might work.
Supposed to go. Where is? Wait. Oh, she's way down there. Okay. So we'll let Gale stay here.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Talk to this guy. This Yahoo.
This vessel is at thy disposal.
Man, look at that.
Do
Look at
what
that
thou wilt.
manly beard and mustache.
But the vessel only stares.
But he is a ginger.
Rowdy
so
Gowdy?
That takes away from it. He's a ginger.
It's Rowdy Gowdy.
Yeah, I should rename him Rowdy Gowdy. on the off chance Rowdy pops in and sees me talking to this guy, just name him Rowdy Gowdy. That'd be great. Gale can do the rest.
All
That
right,
would
do
be
a third
hilarious.
experiment. We'll do a third experiment.
What's on your mind? Would that I could.
All right, so you are in Brave, and then
okay.
I'm streaming.
With haste.
Yeah, you're in Brave. I'm streaming from Chrome.
Well, so my experience when you share StreamYard's is always going to use the browser and the tabs of the thing that you're in StreamYards with currently.
So I'd have to exit, basically.
Or you can log into StreamYards again from the other browser and just keep yourself backstage and then use that account to share the whatever you want. Because that's actually what I do. I have like an admin. That's the Edge is my admin to control everything, whereas Firefox just sits there. Or you can just do everything inside one browser, and like keep it simple. I'm just saying I'm just giving an example of what's possible.
Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, so I'm just gonna. And
yeah,
I don't even know where the toggle is for allowing mic and like camera and all the other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just.
Like you said you had to shut off some toggles, and I can't find it.
Well, I would just try it all from like Edge, like log into everything with Edge, and then try it again and share. And Edge should give you the tab with audio option. Where is? Wait, here we go. That's what I wanted. Gonna get Gale here. We're actually gonna go. This is gonna be a. Wait. I don't think. Casting a spell while using level 3 or 4 spell slots will increase the bonus by. Well, I'll just do 3 because 4 doesn't give me anything extra. And casting using level 5 or 6, so 5 is the best you're gonna do. So I'm just gonna use 3. Why would I waste spell slot? Seems silly. Get my. There we go.
Wits and blades always sharp.
All right, Shadowheart, I
I'll go
need you
this
to
way.
run over here.
Have a lot on my mind. And
People are
well,
dancing.
in it. Never wanted the easy path.
I think I might actually have to. Actually, I'm just gonna go put some Shadowheart.
And these things have stayed interesting. I need
All
a
right,
moment
Karlak,
for the
let's
two
get
of
the
us.
heck out of here. We got people to smite.
Oh, was that Gale's granddad?
Looked like it.
Wonder if he's a wizard too. He's certainly got the beardliness for it.
Yep.
Why'd he come all this way to track us down?
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna tell the whole thing.
Whoa, now he's got a. Well,
Got a bomb in his
I
chest.
guess that would explain a little, but Mistra. I mean,
Where do you
there's
get
a
your
lot
hair
to
dyed
take
back
in.
then?
What's he going to do?
Well, that would be presupposing this is back then and not some, it's like a Star Wars situation, right? Like, just
Hey, if you don't have a smartphone, it's back then.
it's back then.
It's
Maybe.
back then.
I don't know. The ability to like conjure a gate and teleport seems way more advanced than a brick that you talk to. Just saying. We never did get that technology. You know, we got the on Star Trek with the whole like talking devices at long range. We got those, but we didn't get the whole teleport thing.
No. Who wants to be the first guy to screw up on that? At least with the screw up
Or
with the
try
phone, you
it.
just start over.
Yeah.
Sorry, we lost your husband. We turned him into molecules.
Yeah. The you could have a fly situation, right? Remember that movie?
I never saw it, but I'll take your word for it.
So the fly was like I say,
Sci-fi
Jeff
movie.
Goldblum. Jeff
Yep.
Goldblum. And the whole thing was he was like this mad scientist trying to create teleportation from one pod to another. And so he gets in it. And then, but when he gets in it, Fly gets in there too. And so when he comes out the other end, he's just like this horrific, horrible mutation of a person or a fly.
Tell him to pick the right one. Or better yet, I'll do it. Fucking wizards, man. They always need help picking the simple, obvious option. If Mistra can't think of another way to stop the Absolute than sacrificing Gale, she's no god worth worshipping. I'll say that to Gale in, you know, gentle terms.
There we go. Sorry, I barely ever use this browser. Okay. Now we're in business.
Looks like your troops all trooped up. You'll need to...
All right. Now, normally I go into this. Okay, hello, camera. Thank you. Normally I go into this crash situation with Lae'zel, but I'm not taking her.
Is she related to Glozel?
I don't know who that is. Maybe.
It's good. Glozel was classic YouTube. She was just a very
Really?
over dramatic black woman who would just be like 150% personality.
Can't give up now.
God.
Over the top.
Okay. Yeah.
There was a movie trailer announcer named something like Ray DeMontagne or something like that, and she would go up to him and be like, "Say Glozel," and he goes, "Glozel." He's like, "Ah," you know, because he'd be the same guy who had the catchphrase, "In a world where this and that always happen." You know, he's that guy. There was like anywhere like 5 top movie trailer guy voices, and he was the "In a world" one.
Okay. Interesting.
But anyway,
Yeah.
she was just over the top. It was like not as bad as Fred, but yeah, just over the top.
Oh man.
You remember Fred?
I completely forgot about Fred until you
And I've just ruined your
mentioned it.
life.
And I could have gone the rest of my life actually without remembering who Fred is. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Rex. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Mo.
Those were dark days, man. Those were dark days of YouTube. Dark days
Yeah.
indeed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what else to say other than hello, fellow
F-
gamers. Hello, Brandon. How are you, sir?
F's in the chat for Fred.
Whatever happened to that guy? Did he grow up and, become a normal human being?
Now he's gone on to become a cashier at Target.
Get the fuck out of here. You serious?
No, I'm not serious.
Oh, okay. That would have been hilarious, actually. That would have been like,
No,
you know those,
I'm kidding.
those shows
I'm
where they're
kidding.
like the life after, Disney or something,
he-
and they follow
No,
up with the kids and they're just like living under a bridge.
No, but seriously, he's a bagger. He's not a cashier. He hasn't got that far yet.
Bagger? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's where I think a lot of people are headed from olden Olden times, olden YouTube. You look at what's his name? Oh shit. What's that guy's name? I'm trying to remember. You fell out. Brennan says Fred was cancer inducing even as a kid. Yeah, I never. There was no time in my life where I saw one of those videos and thought it was funny. Right?
Oh yeah, it's always pain. It's nothing but pain.
So I'm not even sure his demographic he was appealing to. No. Feels
children.
I guess. So let me put this link to join panel if anybody wants it. Pop on up and say hello. But you can look at, to a much lesser degree, you can look at older PewDiePie videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was doing the whole horror games and things like that. That was borderline tolerable when I was younger. Sometimes I thought it was pretty funny, but
I liked his Bully series. And Outlast. He did the game Bully. Do you remember the game Bully? It's about this delinquent who goes off to a boarding school.
I remember the game. I remember that game, but when when it came out, I didn't have like resources to get it, so I missed out on that. And I always heard good things about it, and it was a lot of fun, but I never actually got to play it. So I basically just watched the game pretty much in its entirety through like Let's Plays and shit. But yeah, I didn't see that one with him. His meme reviews, but that was later. Meme review was later.
That was later when he got sick of video games.
Yeah, he kind of like calmed down, and he actually
Hey bros, really, I have a girlfriend now, and maybe we'll get married. Shh. So I'm sick of playing video games. I'm gonna play with my pug. Oh yeah. Oh, I can't even
basically.
Hear my own voice. But but it's like, so memes are fun, right? We'll do meme reviews, and then it's just like Obama or something like that. Whereas Obama, his face over Yoda, and that was pretty much it. And he would do bits off of that.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I tried to do. I went into Riverside within Microsoft Edge. I opened the panel and I stream sniped your stream, and then I put that window in Riverside. And all I can hear is myself, and I can't hear you.
So did the sharing the tab with Audio Network inside StreamYards?
I'm not doing it from StreamYards. I was doing it from your broadcast.
Wait.
On YouTube, because I figured if it was if I took your stream off YouTube and then broadcast it within Riverside, then it would only get the supply from YouTube instead of the StreamYard studio.
You would hear yourself though.
Yeah, but I figured I'd hear both of us, seeing as there'd only be one audio output from the YouTube live video. But for some reason,
well, if you're going to my channel and grabbing that stream, you're gonna hear yourself along with me. Actually, you're gonna hear me twice too, because you're in
Streamception.
Yeah, I didn't. You're Streamception. Yeah. I thought you were trying to like do the kind of the standard thing where you're inside StreamYards and you share a tab for the other StreamYard that you're joined to, and you just share the back end to your StreamYards and then stream that. That's what I thought you were doing.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but then I'd have to leave this StreamYard and come right back in, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, while you do that, I'm gonna attempt to go in here and make contact with the very peaceful Gritch people. We'll see how this goes. I think I have everything. I don't think there's anything else left I need
There's
to
no
do.
time to waste.
Everybody else is...
Quite ready for you.
Actually, wait. Maybe I should look at Gale's spells. Actually... Wait, I don't need Featherfall. I could put something else cool in here, like, Fireball will be gangster. Fireball or... Target 6 creatures and slow them. That would be really good, too. The deck save, though. I think a lot of these guys have decks. But I also need haste. Counterspell is going to be a must. Concentration. Mirror image. Slow. Do I want hypnotic pattern or slow? I think I want... Actually, no. I think I want slow. Haste and... Yeah, we're just going to do that. Yeah, buddy.
What's the story?
Gonna do that. And then...
There is work to do.
I think that's really all I need. Magic weapon. Why do I have magic weapon? Wait, what is going on here? Aid. Aid's kind of handy. Wrathful Smite. I'll take Wrathful Smite. Magic weapon, I don't really think that's... Weapon becomes magical, receiving a +1 type damage rolls. I mean... That is kind of cool. We'll go with that. Whatever. I really don't want to die here. I really don't want to end my... Oh, wait. Aura Protection. Do I have that? Yeah, I didn't have it up. Almost forgot my Aura Protection. That would have been a tragedy. Oh, I have Booming Blade. Oh, hell yes. Do I have my... Oh, no. Oh, no. There he is.
All right.
What's up, dude?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta flip my camera here.
I think my game just crashed.
There we go. Your game crashed?
I think so. Hey, where's my, where's my...
You're in the dark.
Yeah, it's fine. This is fine right here. Sad. Miniatures cases. I thought I fixed this. I don't know why it's crashing now. I have not had any issues with it for a very long time. And now randomly it's just doing this. But whatever. I just saved, so not a big deal.
Well, the good news
mean-
is it's a success on my channel now.
Hey, there we go. So how, you got it
Shipping.
working?
Yeah.
Nice.
The solution was Microsoft Edge, like you were saying.
Yeah, so that took trial and error to figure out, and I couldn't figure out why all my other browsers, when I would share, that the audio wasn't coming through. And I'd started doing some reading, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, only certain browsers currently have the capability of doing this. Like, okay, can I get like a extension or something? Like, no. Okay. All right. Great.
The Shapingro asks, why is Mo playing the devil's games?
Why is Mo playing the devil's game?
That's it, indeed.
I don't know. Oh, that sounds bad.
It does,
Sounds
especially
bad.
if you're a Baptist and you got to throw out your Pokemon cards and your Harry Potter books.
Did I show you that? Did I show you the that video on X of the kind of the height of the satanic panic? Talking about Pokemon.
Do I want to know?
Oh, wait. Hold on. Well, you brought it up, so I mean, now I gotta.
Now he's
I
got
gotta
it.
find it. Yeah, I gotta find it.
Well, let me get my guitar. As long as we're doing objectionable
Yeah, you
things in
could.
the Baptist
You
world.
could play play me a sad tune for all the kids that had to deal with this. Damn, I really need to like. I really need to remove some of these. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right.
I don't think I've used this for an acoustic yet, except for one instance of dueling banjos on speakeasies. But
You did dueling banjos on Speakeasy? Okay, here we go. There we go.
oh gosh, the mullet.
Yeah, of course, man. All right.
This game is a war designed to attack our children's minds, and it's called
Shut up and take my money.
Pokemon. This character over here is called Mewtwo. Now, he doesn't have 5 fingers like we do. He has 3. It means Hail Satan. And here is a picture of cute little Pikachu and his little satanic tail.
All right, wait a minute. First off, that was a really big leap. I don't know, like, where he's getting that information from. I need a source of this, sir, please.
Tail is really erect. His tail. It's a satanic Z. The Kadabra
This is
character
Satanic Z?
has a pentagram on his forehead. This is Misty. That's a halter top. And she's got short shorts on. She's headstrong and stubborn, typical woman. Just kidding. And here's Brock. And Brock is by far the most hormonal. Oh, what kind of role model would that be? And then there are 2 characters, and one's called Jesse, and the other one's called James. They're also prone to cross-dressing. If you catch them all...
Okay, to be fair, that is a fair critique. They did cross-dress quite a bit. In the
However,
show,
were
for
they
whatever
Jesse
reason.
and James in Japan? I doubt that.
Oh, you mean you think it was 2 girls or something, or?
No. What I'm
like-
saying.
Like, what are you talking about? You think-
What I'm saying is he's using like the anglicized versions of what it was. So it's and Jesse James was, look, he was an outlaw, sure, but they're supposed to be the bad guys. So what? I mean, if they make the bad guys named after bad people, isn't that what we kind of want? And furthermore, in his generation, this must have been the late 90s, like 96, 97, 98. What is he
This
doing
was like
with that
mid
haircut?
90s, yeah. I don't know.
It looks like mid 80s. He has hockey hair. Like, why isn't his haircut more rebellious
wait a
than
minute.
anything?
Wait a minute. First off, the mullet is timeless, sir. Timeless, okay?
Yeah, okay. I don't think so.
Okay,
The
are you
mullet-
telling me that if you grew a mullet, you don't think you would just look like amazing? You don't think you could rock a really solid mullet?
Mo, what's underneath that hat right now?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Wouldn't I
you
like
like
to
to
know?
More
Is it a
people.
Pikachu or is it a mullet? Mullet rebuttal.
Yeah, maybe that was the. Maybe that's been the play, the subtle hint that I've been, it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time.
Yeah.
The name and everything,
No, he's approaching Phil Collins levels of mullet at this point.
Yeah.
You become a Pokemon master. If you're the master of something, you don't need mom, you don't need dad, and you probably don't even need a church. A funny thing happened when this movie, Pokemon, was actually first released. Flashing lights triggered seizures in hundreds of Japanese children. Is that by coincidence? Or did something happen that they can't explain. It's amazing that your child can
explain.
tell you every Pokemon in
I'm pretty
existence,
sure you just
but they
did.
can't quote you scripture. And ladies, God says that you're to raise your children in the ways of the Lord, not in the ways of these Pokemon. It will wreck family life. This game
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there you go. That's why Pokemon is evil, man. We can't have you know, corrupting the children's. Think of the children's, Rex.
I think that guy is managing the target where Fred is bagging right now.
They probably co-workers right now, yeah. Varo says, Mo, you need Windows 11 instead of Windows 98. Oh, really? Damn. Maybe that's my problem. I really should upgrade from my Windows 98. But I'm just so stuck in my ways. Such a great operating system.
Never forget Windows 98.
Man, I actually, I say that tongue in cheek, but I remember having a conversation with a client, and he was an older gentleman, and this was way into the life cycle of Windows 10, and we were trying to upgrade his Windows XP machine, and I could hear another guy, older gentleman, in the background ranting and raving how he didn't want to upgrade his Windows XP machine. And to quote him, Windows XP is the best operating system that's ever been made. And this was in the time of Windows 10, mind you. So, well into Windows 10. So.
Well, I will say, Windows XP did have some of the best sounds. The shutdown sound, the boot up sound.
True.
It felt like you're being ushered into a whole new world.
That is true, man. That is true. Timeless sounds.
A whole new place you've never been.
A whole new world. Can you play that?
Probably not.
Can you play Arabian Nights? Play that. No, you should learn how to play Arabian Nights, and then every time Manar comes on stream, you just start playing.
I mean, I could do. Actually, I would have to tune down.
And I gotta do all this crap all over again. What did I decide? Whatever.
According to the Shapingro, XP is the longest lasting Windows version due to the government contracts needing to be maintained.
Oh, don't get it wrong. I guarantee you, I know of businesses out there where there's like a computer in the back somewhere running something, and I can go put my hands on a Windows XP in the wild right now, to this day.
Work my magic.
Because what happens with businesses, a lot of times, they'll get in a situation where they have software that they can't upgrade for whatever reason, and it just works, and it's like a core thing for their system, for their business, and they just refuse to mess with it, and they don't want to like bite the bullet and upgrade. Like that. A little Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I had to switch to a Dadgad tuning for it though.
Yeah. Assignment to go with here. I don't think I'll ever need that. We'll do that. Can you do the you ever watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Whatever comes.
No.
Well, I'm sure you've seen the meme, the to be continued like meme that
Oh, you're talking about like Yes Roundabout. Oh gosh, I have to go back to standard tuning for that.
yeah. That one's always fun. That's a Ice storm. Wait, I don't have anything. Maybe I do want ice storm. Yeah, that. yeah.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Alright, here we go. We're going in.
Never wanted the easy.
Hey, my fellow Grinches. How are you?
We were not expecting visitors, kin.
Oh, wait, I'm not sharing. I'm not sharing. Forgot to share the stream. What am I doing? Got it. There we go.
Too bad I don't know. I don't know how to do the. I should have learned the roundabout part, but I haven't. I just know that the rhythm section.
Get Yankee.
You are infected. A gate thrall is something to
Me being the Yankee.
not reason with.
No, I gotta convince these people. Oh, I'm so
Wow.
good.
The Gustial has
You
been
have Trump-like
taking
convincing powers.
I do. Are the deal,
unprecedented
baby.
Interest in the geek tadpoles of late. Fine. Report to the infirmary quickly.
I will report to the infirmary. Thank you, fellow Grinch. I will see myself to the infirmary, but first, I'm going to go and plunder your vendor.
I heard they're making us join the patrol soon.
The vendor has some crazy items. Crazy items.
I had plenty of training in what to expect from
Ugh.
Blood, rust, the filth of these people.
I need to
Okay,
tune
I
this
don't
thing.
care.
I need to get my tuner.
Knife of the Undermountain King. No sheesh.
Gambling is a
virus.
sin.
I got that. Guitarra Mo. What? Gambling is a sin?
Yeah. Ill-gotten gain.
I was never really into gambling. I actually worked around casinos for a long period of time, and there's never anything that just didn't really have the draw. I like playing poker though, but that's like playing against other people, not the house.
I gotta get my tuner. This is just bugging me. Un momento. Por favor, vi favore? Vi favore.
Vi favore, por favore, vi favore. Yeah, I don't have the meme. I'm gonna take this too. What else am I gonna take? Daredevil gloves. The wearer gains +1 bonus to spell attack roll. Your ranged spell attacks are made as melee spell attacks when you are adjacent to. Ooh, those are good. Really good. I'm taking that. When the wearer casts spell, requires concentration, they gain 8 temporary. Whatever. Unseen. Invisible weapon. This weapon is invisible while equipped. Okay. What does that do? I don't understand. What? Is this like really good, or am I retarded? Like, invisible. Affected enemy can't be disarmed. It has advantage on attack roll. Oh. And it scores a critical hit and roll a 19. So it has advantage on attack rolls. Two-handed, extra reach. That is pretty good. But I don't have anyone that would be good on, really. Wrath. Oh, this is the other finesse longsword, isn't it? Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that too. Give me all your good stuff. Whatever. Okay. Here, take all my crap. Take that. Take that. Not anymore. I don't need ceremonial warhammer either. Or that. That. Make you buy all my garbage. Oh wait, no, I need that. I almost threw out the key that I need for later. But that would be unfortunate. Goodness gracious, that was a lot of money. It's still not enough. Uh-oh. I don't have enough. Let me take that out. I'll come back for that. Money well spent. Leave. Actually, I'm gonna take
I'd love to, thanks.
who's got the highest strength to carry shit? Like Gale. Gale, go back to camp. That sounds pretty good. Vara, you didn't tell what happened. Was it some kind of paralytic? Oh, you mean when I passed out? No, I was just dehydrated. I was like extremely dehydrated, and I had just given blood like a few days prior, a lot of blood, and I had whiskey the night prior, and so I basically just passed out. Yeah, that's what happened.
I can't tell when Shapinger can hear me or not because I was playing the chords to Freebird, but I wasn't playing.
But he wasn't rocking out. Like he wasn't.
He said, "I was singing. I don't even know the song. I just know that's what you demand of guitar players." So, what is the goal of Baldur's Gate?
Right now, it's just an RPG. We've got bugs in our head. We don't want to turn to mind flayers. That's the overall story. We're kind of like set on a path with that. I'm playing honor mode, which is the highest difficulty. If I die, the game's over. So
You gotta start all the way over.
yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks.
So that's that would definitely be undesirable outcome. And right now I'm trying to make up for all the copious amounts of gold I just dumped on that vendor. Selling shit right now. Let's take a brief moment here. Let's see. Let's see if T-Jump responded to my tweet.
Reality is reality.
Reality is reality.
All right, I'm gonna refresh.
Does not look like he responded to my tweet.
He went to bed. He has things to do.
He's got things to do instead of arguing online. Alright, that's probably all I'm gonna be able to do. Vara, I was dehydrated. Extremely dehydrated. They put like 3, what I can remember when I was at the emergency room, they put in 3 bags of liquid in me through an IV. So. And I had a concussion. So yeah, I was dehydrated. But I got better. I'm fine now. Also, I learned something about having a concussion. That was another thing too, where they gave me very strict instructions where I wasn't supposed to watch anything on like any screens or anything like that. I can listen to stuff, but I couldn't watch anything. And I also couldn't focus on anything too hard. So I couldn't like read any books on like that I would find interesting, like philosophy or anything like that. So I basically just had to like lay around and listen to like a few different streams, actually.
How did you write your comment?
Very briefly and quickly. So I cheated for that, but that's why it was incomplete with the clarity on. You know, that's why I said accident. I could have been more descriptive of what I was talking about. But to be fair, I did have brain damage at the time, so.
You have brain damage now.
I don't think so, but how would I know, right? How would you know if you had brain damage? I feel like that's one of those things you would have, like maybe later you watch the video back of like a debate or something, and you're just like, drooling over yourself or something, or being completely incoherent.
Could you imagine? I have deduced that I have incurred some brain damage. Indeed, indubitably.
Okay,
Let's get going.
give me some of my gold back.
Soon?
Yeah, trade. Give me some
All
more
right.
gold back.
So Chipingro's trying to get me through some like logical stuff. He goes,
oh,
proposition P can be in state 1 true or 0 false, written P for equals 1 or P equals 0 respectively. You can combine propositions via conjunctions or or is equivalent to max. Thus, for P, 1 equals 1 and P2 equals 0, or P1 or P2, max 1, comma 0 equals 1 equals true. And it's equivalent to min so far. Oh my gosh, it's midnight in my time zone, my dude.
Well, everything you said right there, I was kind of following, but to even like digest that, I would need to see that like in a syllogism written out to absorb it.
Harsh.
To be honest. But if he wants to come up and explain it to us in detail and blow our mind, you know, he's more than welcome.
Yeah, get on Mo's channel, get on the audio, and blow our minds.
Yeah.
You heard the man. Do it.
But not too,
Just
not
do
too, not too much, because remember, I do have brain damage.
And your mom did take Tylenol.
My mom did take copious amounts of Tylenol when she was pregnant with me. There is that. Wow, what a cheapskate. 1,700 gold. You suck. That's okay.
Remember.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway. Yeah. Nine, 419, and 5. Gale just got a crazy upgrade. Alright, I'm gonna save. He's gonna send crap out on me again. What else did we get? Bonus gloves. Gloves of dexterity. I feel like heroism. $18 dexterity would be kind of cool to have. He already has 20 dexterity though. He has 18 dexterity. I'm just gonna put it on my guy for right now. Alright, cool.
Should mine must there.
Kithrak Therazin needs...
Right.
I should speak up.
Alright, we're gonna go here and talk to these people.
What if they don't find the weapon? Forgive me, just still. I wasn't complaining.
Quanirel, look at him. He's clearly not with the Inquisition.
The Inquisition? I'm with the Inquisition. Tell me what you were gossiping about now. Oh no.
Why don't you try your protect?
Alright, fine, whatever. Don't care.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
This imposing portrait depicts a powerful Githyanki warrior. In the corner of the painting is a small symbol you can't quite place.
History. Oh my god. Oh, I made it! Get out of here. Nice.
Cool stories of a prince riding a comet just like this one. With sudden clarity, you realize it's the symbol of Orpheus. forgotten hero from the tales of your youth.
Draw a new face on the portrait. Yeah, we're gonna put a mustache on the portrait. There we go. Give her a mustache.
Draw a picture of the Prophet Mo.
The Prophet Mo.
Take a moment to fully appreciate your masterpiece.
My masterpiece. My magnum
He
opus.
certainly looks a little less regal now.
There we go. That's what I think of your person there. All right. So now that that's done, go over here. Uh-oh, he found it.
I need to get rid of it before the Inquisitor sees.
What is all this?
What's this for, Jack?
Actually, that's where I need to go for the quest. I'm not gonna go there just yet. Some other shenanigans I gotta get up to. I need to go and acquire that egg. I go talk to this guy too. Hi, Mo.
Perhaps a tadpole has already addled your
Well,
brain.
thank you.
Is that
Thank
it?
you for the like,
My
sir.
brain is fine. April!
Pingro, welcome. You gonna come up and talk
Explain logic, please.
logic with us? Yes, explain. Yes, explain logic to us, all of it. Like
And make it make sense.
the whole thing, beginning to end.
Kentucky! We are training to fight Gink.
And try not to use reason when you do it
They
either.
won't
It's just
They won't
confusing.
Yeah, don't
need
use
to.
reason.
We keep killing each other for them.
That's
It's stupid.
little.
Orphe. Silence.
That's like what those Pokemon card people would have us do.
Prattling is
Yeah, yeah.
attracting an audience. You fight again. This time, daggers only. And to
Daggers
the
only.
death, as instructed. Who wants to challenge this sniveling Istark?
Oh, I like a challenge. Offer to fight the boy yourself. Leave the boy alone. You made your point. Killing your own soldiers is an odd strategy for winning a war. That is a very odd strategy. Yeah, I'll fight him.
Interesting proposition. Yes. Let's see how Val fares against the skills of a lesser Crash. Take a dagger,
Lesser?
stranger.
How dare you, sir?
This exercise requires nothing more than a blade.
Chipigro says, all of it. No problem.
This sounds like a job for the Spring Grove.
I got a little butter knife. Oh, don't make me use it, please.
I refuse. There has to be a better way.
There should be a better way.
Kill him.
Dad, I
put
literally
us all
have
to our
snowflakes
misery.
on my armor. This is not good.
Make a non-fatal attack. I can,
Hi-ya.
I can just like kick him in the chest like Sparta. I only need 16.
This is Baldur's Gate.
Oh, barely made it.
Barely.
He just pushed him down.
Oh,
That
how
looked-
non-lethal was that?
That I don't know. That looked pretty lethal.
You skillfully avoid hitting any major
Is your heart
organs.
located in your foot?
Oh,
if you're
I
in space?
skillfully
He's out cold.
avoided
Yet
major
another
organs.
staggering display of incompetence.
How dare you, sir?
Move him out of the way.
Wait,
We've wasted
that
enough time
huge
already.
gash avoided major organs?
Yeah, yeah. You didn't see you remember John? You ever seen John Wick? Right?
Oh, of course. And I'm sure all these
Yeah, yeah,
goblins
yeah.
have seen John Wick too. They became surgeons
yeah.
overnight.
No, I'm just saying that like in the movie, like he has that knife fight with the guy, right? And then like he doesn't he has like respect for him, so he just like stabs him very precisely to where he's immobile, and he's like, if you remove it, you'll bleed out.
But I respect you a lot.
Like really
a lot.
But yeah. I like you a lot, so I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna stab you. But if you move the blade, if you remove it, you'll bleed out and die. And he's like left in there.
So, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. And Happy New Year, you filthy animal. Okay, so we did that. We also need. What am I doing here? Where's the? That's the vendor. That's the thing I need to do, I think. Where's the egg place? I think it's over here. Maybe. That's the admin office.
You know, I don't think Chapingro took you up on coming up to the studio, hashing out the logic.
I don't know. I was hoping.
Hey, Rowdy Gowdy. We saw you earlier.
Hey, Rowdy Gowdy. What's up, man? Yeah, we saw someone that has a very uncanny resemblance to you, sir.
In Baldur's Gate. Could you ever
Gate,
think of yourself as a legendary fantasy character? Hope all is well. Not here for a long time, but always a good time. Thank you so much, Rowdy Gowdy. If I had prizes to give out, I would give them out, but I don't.
Get him a gold sticker. Gold, like a star.
I'm going to show it on the stream. That's the best I can do. Show it on the stream. Count the upgrades, make the upgrades count. I don't know what the upgrades are, but all right.
Sounds like a gaming reference.
I guess. Don't count the DLC, make the DLC count.
For me.
Everybody's playing that Crimson Desert game too. Just considering trying that out.
Andrew said it sucked. At least he didn't like it very much.
Well,
not very much.
My understanding is it's very much kind of all gameplay. Like there's not really a great story. And by not great, I mean like it's non-existent.
So it's like open world optional nothingness.
It's like open world, just like let me go and fight this stuff, and it's all gameplay. That's my understanding, right? So maybe that's why he didn't like it. Like Andrew, from what I chatting with him, like in Discord stuff, he's very much like he's kind of like me. He's like an old school gamer. Like likes like the RPGs, things like that. Fan of like the old PS1 Final Fantasy stuff like that.
If there's anything I regret not asking him, it's what that white guitar was in the background of his old studio.
You can tell
like a Jackson or a Schecter or a BC Rich or something.
What are you doing here? There is little to be curious.
Yeah, I don't know. He might play. I don't know.
Taking its time hatching.
Oh, he plays.
Most caretakers would not give the child its fair chance, but I shall.
I mean, on the Crucible stuff, they did make their own music too. I was able to find one song he made called "You're Fat."
It's the voice of a man.
Nice.
On YouTube somewhere. Yeah, it's just "You're fat, you're fat."
Over and over again.
Fat. Yeah, over some chords. You know, he's like the Bob Dylan of his generation.
You're fat.
Not all that
You're fat.
They almost.
You're fat.
This one deserves
You're
the
fat.
same chance.
I don't think I got the chords right, but it's about as Bob Dylan as I'll get tonight.
You. Still, tell me, what will you do with it if I entrust it to you? Not an easy task, but you've a spirit. Very well. Fighting a battle already. It's not even born yet.
Yikes. God, it smells awful in here. Watch how you go. There's a trap.
Large, you can see a vague outline of something within it.
Mine now. And then I'm just gonna teleport over here. What? I mean, biting some cancer. Give me a moment. I don't know what that means. I don't know what he means by that. Alright. So, back over here. Select my party. And now we go and talk to... which one do we talk to first? I think we go... and talk to these people. Have a conversation. I wonder if I drop my disguise, if they would just all turn on me. Hello.
Please,
hello, everybody.
Chiprai, I can explain. The latest batch of cultists knew nothing of the astral prism. They were just trying to find Moonrise. They all head there.
They all
My
go to
Gish have
Moonrise.
drafted plans to assault the tower. They are ready to fight. Chiprai, we could sift the missing artifact from the tower's ashes if you would give us...
Quiet. Find the astral prism, Therazin. My patience falters.
Yes, Chiprai.
That's some crazy headgear this guy's got.
Do
Hey,
as
get out of
she
here.
says. She remains your Kithrak. For now.
One of these days, I'll be able to hear your game.
Yeah, I'll look at the audio right away. I have a lot of testing to do. Let's go talk to this lady here.
I hate... You are not familiar to me, Rastil. Do you bring news of the weapon?
I need a description of the weapon you seek.
It is small, angular, metal, adorned with Tirsu script. Stolen by true soul heretics.
True soul
Sense
heretics.
Shadowheart's worry. This weapon sounds like the artifact you carry.
What was
No
that
shit.
look? You know something. Do you have it?
I found the weapon you seek.
I sincerely hope you know what you're doing. Shema Zalaflak. Give it to me. No.
Here you go.
Yes.
Oh, it's a Tesseract.
There it is. Exactly as described.
But it's like a cat toy.
The Inquisition will
Yeah.
finally come to an end.
Oh, it doesn't like you. It's my fidget spinner.
Trickery? Heresy? How did you...
I just want to dance.
You manipulate it when I cannot?
Yeah, you're just not built that way.
It
I'm just built
appears you
different.
have been chosen, Vin Isk.
Why does that guy have the hairstyle of Trey Cool?
I don't know. Why do they all look like Grinches?
Seek the Chiprai below.
They're the Grinch elf Martians. What are those things from the Marvel universe that are supposed to be like the aliens who disguise themselves as other people?
My fear's hardly irrational when you
Um,
see the fangs on those things.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The, what are those things called?
Scrolls.
Scrolls, yeah, scrolls. There you go. Scrolls.
So they look like scroll goblins.
Well, we have a guest backstage.
I would have never have guessed.
Hey, Pedro, how are you, sir?
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome.
I can hear you, but you need to pump that up.
Yeah, let me try to turn your volume up here.
I can do a little bit over here. Is that better?
Oh yeah, there you go.
More?
Say,
You're good, you're good.
hold it. I turned you up. Say something.
How we doing?
There we go. Perfect. Yeah.
Is this your YouTube debut?
Not my debut.
Okay, you get quiet again all of a sudden.
Yeah, you got quiet all of a sudden. I got you at the same level. I didn't change
Don't
anything
get
on my
shy now.
end.
Alright, I turned myself up a little bit more on my end.
You should turn it up. Give it like a 30% boost.
Alright, I'm at 9. Or, hang on,
Hmm.
how about this?
You sounded perfect a second ago.
Is this any better?
About the same.
Negative. Yeah.
I was hoping the phantom power might help.
What were you doing before where you came in clear?
I'm just turning my input level up.
Yeah, do that.
We're doing it. A little more.
Okay. I'm basically at the top of the dial at this point.
Good enough, I guess.
Well, nice to meet you, Mo.
Nice to meet you, sir. Long time chatting, first time talking.
I hear many good things through Rex.
Well, that's good. That's good. I always like to hear that. That's better than, you know, coming in here and like, man, Rex, you know, he says you're a retard.
Secrets.
Well, I was looking forward to our potential conversation, but I heard there was some spillage that occurred. I'm hoping you're better now.
Yes, I would say I'm 100% now. I feel fine. I mean, we'll see how it goes. 29th. Yeah, maybe when we actually start discussing, if I start drooling and like, you know, fall over, then they will know that I'm not. But
and he's all like, I think I should be king.
Yeah, of everything.
Off with your head.
Something like that.
I
Yeah.
like that government the best.
I
Yes.
can't believe I'm actually
All right,
venturing
so
into a
Chipingo,
beast
you're trying to
stronghold
tell us
again,
how to think.
voluntarily.
I mean, you're trying to
I've
teach us
seen
logic.
it work before. They must want
If you
that
guys are
artifact.
interested,
I wish I'd
you
never
guys
been sent on this mission.
I'm interested.
Use
Unfortunately,
these phrases quite frequently in the discussions that I've seen.
Sorry.
Mo, do you have any questions?
Say that again. Sorry, I was.
He was
distracted,
talking
so
to the pretty princess.
She's not a princess. She's kind of a cold-hearted bitch, if I'm being honest. But yeah.
That's you know, you can be both. That doesn't violate the law of non-contradiction.
I guess. Okay. Yeah. Fair point. Yes. Fair point.
True enough.
And yes, we
All will
stand
be
the law of
revealed in due time.
non-contradiction around here.
Definitionally, if she has bangs, she is not a good princess.
What?
I'm kidding.
Based on what? Yeah. What criteria are you matching that to, sir?
Oh, now we're all serious. Okay, I'm sorry.
What is the criteria to justify your assertion here? Because all assertions must be justified on the Mo Rebuttal channel when discussing philosophy.
I'm gonna need that as a syllogism, please.
Yes, I need that as a syllogism. With a source.
Assertions don't need to be justified.
Okay, well there you go.
Can anybody tell who I am? No, okay. My chair isn't huge enough, I guess.
Oh, I thought you were just doing your standard presuppositionalist bit.
Oh, sure, yeah. I don't provide justification. Right.
I justify nothing. It's written on my heart.
Reality is reality.
Actually, one critique that I've heard from people who don't like the presup argument is that it seems that when someone is running the presup argument, that they engage more, they start basically from the cross-examination right away, instead of letting the person cross-examine them. Do you share that view, Chipingro?
Can you rephrase that for me? I'm not sure I quite understood what you meant.
So with presup or tag, it's a situation that I've heard a critique from people who don't like it that say that when they go into it, since it is a, from their viewpoint, this isn't my stance on this, but from their viewpoint, you're making an assertion, but instead of justifying the claim, you go into question, internal critique of the other person's worldview.
I imagine that I partially agree with that, if
Okay.
only because I'm not sure about the cross-examination part. That's the place I'm getting hung up.
Okay, so for example, let's say that you ask me for some kind of justification for any aspect of my belief, then the next move is usually to say, you wouldn't be able to make sense of any logical fallacy or incoherence if not for my worldview giving coherence to the world. Something along those lines. Thereby flipping the script and saying, like, you're borrowing from my worldview to try and attack my worldview because your worldview does not have the necessary preconditions for knowledge and coherence and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna stumble because I'm not in my safe water zone, but it always comes across as a modified God of the Gaps argument.
I've heard that critique before too. I obviously I don't think I agree with that because it's working back to go to justify the precept of the source of knowledge.
Well, that's
instead
what
of
God of the Gaps is doing as well, right?
No, God of the Gaps is like you can't explain this, therefore God, and that's not what tag does. Like the difference is in tag, you're saying that they have a reason, they have a grounding that does have an end point.
But that reason is just God again, right?
Right, but it's not the God of the Gaps is saying they can't explain it, therefore God. So it's different.
Okay.
Yeah, he thinks it's the same because
An explanation has not been made. That's why it's the same.
Well, how does tag not have an explanation?
Well, I think what happens is that atheists will often, appeal to the continued unknown. Like we could always find something new and different later. I don't know if the Shapingo's doing that, but usually the refutation for that is if that is true, then it totally demolishes truth in and of itself, because then you could never ever you would always be wondering if in the future you would find something else that would totally demolish the current state of understanding. And then if that could get demolished too by something else in the future from that, and so on. And then you have almost an infinite regress that goes into the future rather than back into the past, because you always have to be open to new, entirely novel explanatory models.
But isn't that just the probability fallacy?
What I'm talking about?
Historical trend of knowledge.
What you're saying, yeah, isn't that just the probability? It's like the probability of something happening is infinite, so you can, like it's saying you have no way of knowing, or like, okay, just because we have no way of knowing or a way to say yes, this is an absolute, that's just appealing to probability.
I think what Rex is pointing to is that there's no end state. That there's no way to ever actually have any solidity in claiming understanding, because if your claim is that your understanding could change tomorrow, then what are you actually claiming here? Which is fair. Like that's a valid critique, but I would argue that that's just the historical trend of knowledge acquisition. At one point, we thought that piles of hay laying about spawned rats, and this was just known to be true.
Well, by known to be true, you would mean what would have been a prior rejection of biblical teaching at the time, which is that God gives rise to life and not non-God entities or things like that. Like Genesis explicitly says that they went forth from according to their kind.
Right. But why would that cut God out?
Why would what cut God out?
Why would the rats spawning from hay bales cut God
out? Because then it would be a contradiction of Genesis saying that each brought forth according to their kind, because hay bales are not according to the kind of rats.
This seems like retroactive knowledge.
Define retroactive knowledge.
Are people
Vertical incision
biblical
from pineal
scholars of the Middle
intestinal
Ages
coloration
who
consists. If you require
would
treatment,
likely have
take a
believed that
seat,
rats spawn from
or do you have
hay
a
bales
question?
are- What was going on there?
Cursed, tell me.
Would they
How long have you been infected?
like why wasn't this a big thing given the control of the church to just say no, that's antithetical to Christian teaching?
Yeah, well, I would say that they were falling into the conventions of the times, which is not uncommon. Even in the Bible, throughout the Bible, a lot of religious leaders and people in high places could have the wrong idea of things and get corrupt. I mean, you look at the Pharisees. The Pharisees, if you read Matthew 23, they sat in Moses' seat, says Jesus. So listen to what they say, but do not do as they do. So they could read and teach scriptural things, but Jesus warned against these traditions of men that weren't in the Bible. So it's a trend throughout even the Bible that people just kind of make up their own stuff and they don't even realize they're doing it because they're not sticking to the scriptures.
So
well, I think there's also maybe a simpler explanation, right? Like there may have been people at the time who might have made that point that Rex made, but just because someone has a explanation for something doesn't mean a large part of the population isn't going to believe what they think is the reality, right?
In the Middle Ages, when the church has basically preeminent control in Europe.
Control of what?
You name it. They controlled states. They controlled.
Yeah, but they don't.
Ideologies. This is an era
Sure.
where we're teaching in Latin because the.
Yeah, but they don't control the free will of people. Like, okay, so there's a ton of information, right, on science and the Earth and how things, you know, work, and proving celestial bodies, but flat Earthers still exist. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my point. Like, there's people who are gonna believe what they want to believe.
Oh, sure, yeah. They're.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't understand where you were going, but that's.
Yeah. That was basically my point. I think just even if you did, let's just say for the sake of argument that there were religious people at the time who said no, like that goes against scripture. That doesn't mean that people are necessarily gonna believe it. You know, I mean that's why we have old wives' tales and all this other stuff, and
I feel like
that's still there today.
Way, but regardless,
sure.
Like, ironically enough, Rex just described exactly what I was just discussing, which he was just saying is a fallacy, in which he said, well, people could have been wrong in the past about the Bible, and then we learn more and update our knowledge going forward. So how can you know?
Well, how are they wrong about the Bible when they didn't cite the Bible to say that hay produces rats? How is that? Are you saying I'm using a fallacy?
Still.
You just got done telling me that it was
either
incorrect
to
presume
go to the
that rats
safest.
spawn from hay bales.
I will ensure
because
you're
it would be
cured.
anti-biblical based on the
Your
scripture
gratitude.
that you read.
Most of
correct?
our kin never get to experience the atheist.
So,
Lucky
therefore,
smiles
people
on
in the
you.
past who were making this mistake were misinterpreting the Bible. Correct?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or at least, here's the thing. When you say misinterpreting, they actually have to have a passage to point to and say, ergo, rats from hay. But I haven't even heard that. Even this. Like, I've heard of spontaneous generation, so I know at least we're talking about, you know, that kind of stuff up until Louis Pasteur.
Not now, Kachuki. We're busy. No.
So yeah, I know general what we're talking about, but I didn't know how widespread this was accepted in the church. So I'm just taking it face value that was the case. And yeah, those people would be wrong. And you could see it from the scriptures rather that those people be wrong. And isn't it also true that many of the Greek philosophers believed in an eternal physical universe, or is that not true?
No, that's true, but
right. So then the Bible was infinitely more correct than they were, because an eternal universe would be infinitely older than a non-eternal universe that was created.
let's try to stay on track here. What we were pointing to is the idea that we can be aware of our lack of knowledge to the point that we can agree that we have been wrong before, we are likely wrong now. And your pushback to that was, well, if that's the case, how can you ever claim correctness, because you've outright told me that you have no way of knowing when you are, when you've hit the mark, when you're actually correct. Am I following you so far?
I don't think so, because my critique was for when you say God of the gaps, what I'm hearing is we don't know now, but we may know later. Is that fair or no?
Oh, when I was saying God of the gaps, what I was pointing to is when you're doing pre-sup, you're basically saying, I am saying this as my grounding without ever showing the grounding. Like it's on faith. So if you're building it as a foundation for your reason and your logic system, which is where I normally hear this being used, to me that seems to be kind of a God of the gaps, because you're saying, well, this is my foundation, and then when I ask, okay, how did that foundation come about, you say, oh, well, that's God.
When you say come about, you mean come into existence, whereas before it didn't exist?
Yes.
Okay. Would that apply to every foundation of reality, or just God in your mind?
I would have to believe that it applies to every foundation of reality.
So every foundation of reality would have had to have not existed at one point and then came into existence?
I'm trying to make sure I'm following you, but if I'm understanding you, then I think so, yeah.
I don't see how that's possible. Either the foundation of reality always existed. It has to have always existed. Even let's say it wasn't God and it was something else. It would have had to have always existed if we're going to accept that reality exists and has a basis by which you have multiple dimensions of truth that can coexist and have relationship with each other at the same time. We have we have the abstract, we have the concrete, being the material and the immaterial, for example. And you would agree that material and immaterial realities exist and harmonize within reality, meaning they interact with each other without contradiction and like destroying each other.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm willing to agree to that.
Okay, yeah, I don't. If we're thinking of like dark matter or whatever, I don't know anything about that. So, yeah, so. Then the question is, then how could you say that the foundation of reality would have had to have come into existence? Because that would mean that the foundation of reality would also need a foundation by which it would have a mechanism to come into existence if it wasn't eternal, right?
Okay.
Purification is
then
your duty.
I was misunderstanding
the
what you were
pain is
asking.
hardly relevant.
You're saying
Your
as
body
a foundation
grows
of reality,
cold
this is
and
a precursor.
You must
to
focus on the power.
This is not.
This is the necessary precondition for intelligibility, truth, reality, all that kind of stuff. So,
but it's doing so blindly, without your skull groans and bends under the
So
pressure.
when I ask you, you say, how did that come about? And I try and clarify come about as having not existed before and now exists. That means it's not eternal. And then I ask if that applies to every other foundation of reality that you could think of, and you would say yes. And I don't think that makes any sense, because it would have to have had not existed, and then there would be a mechanism, supposedly, by which it existed, unless you're going to say that the foundation of reality spontaneously generated from nothing
of torment,
or
the device
something else. I mean, whatever the something else would be, that would be the actual foundation of reality in that case, in which case the question would fall back to that. Whatever we're talking about came from in the first place. So my thing is, like, we're falling into kind of an infinite regress if we don't have an eternal foundation of reality.
The device, the tadpole.
No.
For worse.
I agree. But to me, that seems to be the problem, is that there's this eternal regress no matter how we go. So, like, your eternal regress ends at God, and that's seemingly enough to satiate you, but you're not satiated with an, in my opinion, equally ephemeral starting point for other people.
Okay, what's the equally ephemeral starting point? I mean, this is late at night. I should probably get to bed. I hate to go because then it looks like I'm chickening out. It's just legitimately late, and I was just chilling with Mo.
No, man, you.
But I hate look like chickening out. That's the thing.
Yourself into the tadpole's
I'm floundering.
putrid magic. The two forces
I'm
feud.
doing my best to try and keep up and follow.
Okay, let me ask you this.
The
What?
room swims back. No.
I'm pretty sure you're a moral realist. I think we've talked about this before. Is that true?
Her voice cuts with a fanatical
playing
edge,
with it,
an
we can say
obsession
mostly,
bordering on mania.
Okay, but you're not a Mo,
There's a
not a Mo,
chance the
no,
parasite
wrong guy.
lives,
You're not a
she
T-jump
wants it.
moral realist where it's not prescriptive, are you?
I'm not familiar enough with T-jump to make that link. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So he describes morality as not needing to be prescriptive. It's just whether or not you impose on somebody's will, which, by the way, is not. It's not prescriptive to not oppose somebody's will, but that's a whole other can of meatballs. Yeah. So, what is your explanation for the relationship between the material and the immaterial? It's just has to be there. There can be no other world possible where the immaterial and the material do not touch.
Yeah, I lack one.
You lack one, but I mean, what's the relationship? Because one is outside of time and it is not made of matter, and the other is inside time and subject to physics and those sorts of laws, but the immaterial is not subject to physics. Like the laws of logic don't change because the wind is blowing. But if the wind is blowing hard enough, I'm gonna, I might fall into a ditch and die.
We're in a deeply metaphysical place, and I'm apt to put my foot in my mouth.
Me too.
But
you want to call a ceasefire, like Trump? You want to call a ceasefire?
Are we firing at each other? If we're firing at each other, yes.
Indeed. This place makes my
Yeah, we should have this conversation again. You guys should come back when we have more time. I do have a question for you, Rex. A partying question, and maybe you can just answer right off the bat.
It's never been that before. I don't know why.
But one critique that I've come across when it comes to precept and tag is when you're running the argument and you get to the point of how do you ground logic and reasoning, right? A response that I've heard is, why do I need to? How would you deal with that?
Yeah.
And why is it not just descriptive?
Yeah, so the assumption is that the laws of logic just speak for themselves, but the problem is the laws of logic themselves are conceptual, meaning they are of the mind. They don't appear anywhere in nature in terms of themselves. Well, they're often said to be descriptive, but if they're descriptive, then they're only of like contingent minds, and they're not actually real and don't actually apply. But the problem is, if they don't exist in matter, they don't emanate from matter, and then what plane do they emanate from? Like, what gives the prescriptions for correct thinking of a thing if there's no design for it? And again, I'm probably also putting my foot in my mouth a bit because it is late at night, but I think I was in better shape last night, actually, when I was talking to Shiva. Shapingro, you saw a little bit of it. No, you didn't see me at all.
I didn't.
Mo, did you see my dialogue last night with Shiva?
You mentioned it, and I'm very eager to go watch it. I have not had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, to say you don't need to ground it, I mean, the question then would be, could they change? Because if they're not grounded in anything eternal, if they themselves are their own grounding, they don't. There's nothing in the laws of logic that say that they can't ever change. If the universe is merely standing on a mindless ontology or a mindless epistemic, if you will, if there is such a thing as a mindless epistemic. So if the laws of logic could change at any time, obviously then they're not laws. And if the laws of logic are dependent upon your synapses, then they're not laws either. They're they're not even emergent. They're just how evolution had through physics fashioned you to operate. But they don't.
Well, I think their
anything.
response to that would just be that, well, no, it's descriptor. It's a descriptor claim, and they are axioms that we use because they're just axioms of reality. So why do they need to be grounded?
Okay, so could your mind change then? If you're saying it's descriptors of reality, then does that mean is your mind telling you that, or does your mind necessarily interface with reality? Like, is the human mind?
In this case, they're not.
To...
They're not granting that the mind is required. It's just a descriptor of reality.
If the mind's not required for a descriptor, then they're saying that there is an objective description of something. How do they access that objective description?
They discovered the description of reality.
So their mind is necessarily...
With your statement about, like, to me, a mind is much more susceptible to change than something like code.
Agreed. Agreed. So if our mind is subject to change, and our mind is not necessarily made to understand reality, it's just a thing like any other thing, then...
Right. But then we would expect a constant system to not be of a mind.
How would we... That's not true. How would we tell what a constant system is if we can't...
You just agreed with me that a mind is much more susceptible to change than code. Did you not?
Okay, but a contingent mind is susceptible to change, not a non-contingent mind.
Whatever kind of mind is more susceptible to change than code, correct?
No, not whatever kind of mind. A non-contingent mind, meaning the mind of God, would have to be eternally perfect, settled, unchanging in of itself, because the change would either come from some kind of necessity or some kind of outward influence. And so if God is omniscient and eternally so, then he's not going to change. And he even says, I am the Lord, I change not. But that's a whole other...
Then, like gravity, why can't the laws of logic just be perpetual?
Because you can't, well, I'll just throw this out there. With gravity, that's a physical thing in reality, and you can violate the law of gravity. You can't violate the law of logic.
We can violate the law of gravity?
Sure. How do you think rockets work? We can
That's not
escape
violating
gravity.
the law of
That's not violating the law of gravity at all.
Well, it's going
opposite.
against it.
No, you're staying within the bounds of what physics does. So that's not a violation.
I get what Mo's saying. Mo is basically saying, gravity pulls down.
You can ignore gravity. You can't ignore the law. You can't you can't go out. You can ignore a gravity with enough propulsion to escape Earth's gravity, but
that's not ignoring gravity. You're paying for it dearly.
Well,
yeah, what he's saying
let me
is
find a better descriptor than ignore. But I think you get what I'm saying. That there's not a case where you can do the same thing with the laws of logic. Like a tree can't be a unicorn, and violate the law of identity.
But the gravity is still operating all the same the entire way of your rocket ride. The same way that laws of logic are operating the same as much as we might use fallacies.
Constantly, yes.
Say that again?
So the entire time we're shooting up in a rocket, the gravity has not changed. The gravity has not been pushed back. Gravity has not been affected whatsoever. In fact, the demonstration of gravity is the fact that we're using rockets.
It is changing as we get further away, but...
No. The law of gravity, or is it a law or is it a theory?
Yes. If we take gravity, force from 1 to 2 is m1 m2 over r squared times big G, then yes, that is constant.
I think you are conflating gravity's pull with the on an individual rocket with the existence of gravity. That's not. I was talking about the existence of gravity as a whole. Just because a rocket ship is flying through the air doesn't mean that gravity as a whole is being
like. But gravity has to do with matter, right? Laws of logic is
space-time, right?
Is concept, right? Like laws of logic is a conceptual thing. So it's. I would say it's category error. That's what I was getting at.
And if you dropped that statement in any hard science field, math, physics, chemistry department, you would create a giant shitstorm, because that is in no way pinned down. Like there's no agreement on this.
Agreement that gravity and the laws of logic are similar?
That something like all right, so would you say that numbers exist? That they have physical manifestations?
The concept of numbers is metaphysical.
Okay, the concept of numbers is metaphysical. What about like the number pi?
Yeah, you can say the number pi is, so you can write it. If by exist you mean like write it down, like sure. But what do you mean by exist?
I mean, the reason this becomes a problem is because when you're studying physics, this constant of pi pops up out of the blue, unbeknownst to everybody. It seems to be a fundamental part of the system. So I would argue that yes, it exists, although I can't go pick pi up anywhere. If I'm doing physics, I will measure pi. I can measure pi by doing physics.
Sure.
Same for
but that's
E.
but that wouldn't that just be the concept of pi that exists?
Well, that's the question. Is it the concept, or is this a fundamental thing? Because physics seems to demand this idea to function as we know it. So I would argue that that's pretty fundamental. It's not just something.
But can you go touch pi in the physical reality?
I that's where it gets difficult. Like I can describe physical systems that require pi to describe. I can describe physical systems that require like that you can measure E to as much precision as you'd like. Can you touch it? No, you can't touch it. But like, all right, can you touch a second?
Well,
nope.
I would say that's the same category. I would say it's the same realm. It's a concept.
Well, I think pi is probably even tighter than a second, because a second is a unit of measure of time, which, for lack of a better term, I would have is fluid, whereas pi is a constant. Is that fair, Shapingro?
It's fair, but can we at least agree that these things are like, even though a second is a man-made unit of time, time itself is occurring.
Yes.
Like,
Shapingro, are you A theory of time or B theory of time?
I'm not sure. You have to lay them out to me.
Well, so wait, just real quick, not to go too far. Going back to the gravity thing, though, I still don't understand how that's not really a category error when one deals with physical matter and how it operates in conjunction with it, and the other one is a conceptual metaphysical law of logic. So how are those two?
The physical matter seems to entail a requirement for this conceptual idea. You don't get the physical matter without the conceptual idea.
But the physical matter and the conceptual are two different things.
I get that, but if they're completely dependent on one another, then
that's where I would
somewhat inseparable, aren't they?
That's where I would kind of disagree, and maybe this is a better answer than I gave before. So the law of identity. Does identity exist? Because if you ask Shiva, there is no essence to anything. Nothing has an essence, if I'm understanding him correctly.
I would disagree with him.
Right, and so would I. But the idea of like, when you say identity, you're saying that there is an objective assignment of what a thing is that is not made of matter. An objective, I would argue, prescriptive thought which we ought to think about any said thing. If I say somebody's a human, there are connotations to what a human is that I ought to sign off on. Like, I believe, and I know Mo disagrees with this, but I believe that part of it would be human rights, which come from human dignity, which come from being made in the image of God, and things like that. So even when we're talking about mind or having a law of identity, there is a prescription by which we ought to think correctly about logic, each other, and the world around us. And I don't think that that comes from it grounding itself. The laws of logic are not expressing prescriptions, but there are prescriptions concerning the laws of logic that we humans ought to follow. And that's why we're having this discussion in the first place. If that wasn't true, then this discussion itself would be incoherent, because we wouldn't be encouraging each other to believe things that which are true. And that kind of relates back to my argument from infinite regress of value. But that's my argument.
Shapingro, you also made a connection to like pi and gravity having a very, I guess, deep link to physical reality. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, you don't get one without the other.
Right. Okay, great. So, but that would just kind of go, I think, to my point, though, right? Because if the law of gravity is dependent on the physical world, laws of logic is not dependent on the physical world. It's independent of the physical world. It's a metaphysical concept. I think that's a distinction.
Are you saying that because we can make hypotheticals that it's not dependent upon the physical world, or what are you saying?
I'm saying that you can't, like, to Shapingro's point, if you're looking at gravity or these other things that you're measuring or using pi to calculate, there's something in the physical world you can go and like has a deep connection to it, like with gravity, bodies, things like that, right? But when it comes to the laws of logic, it's independent of that. It's true everywhere, and it's a concept. It's not something that you can go into reality and touch and make the same connection.
This came up during your rights discussion, and I had a question I didn't get to ask you at the time, Mo. So now I have you.
Oh,
I'm gonna pin you down.
Okay.
Now I have you.
Oh, you're not going nowhere. I got 3 minutes with you.
That's 3 minutes of playtime.
Hey, playtime. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I feel out of the loop. I'm not a wrestling watcher.
It's a Spider-Man.
Technically Spider-Man, but yes,
yeah.
It's Randy Savage.
It is Monster Man Randy Savage, yes.
All right.
It's when he makes his debut in wrestling. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. All right, let's hear this burning question.
Yeah, do you think gravity is a physical effect? Is it a physical thing?
Do I think gravity is... Wait, this came up in the Force debate? Or I don't remember this.
Because there's a very pedantic way in which your description of what counts as force, which you, if I remember correctly, was dependent on some kind of physical nature. So I want to know if you think gravity, the OG Newton force, is physical.
Well, I would say it's... Yeah, it would have to have a connection to the physical reality, right? Especially when you're dealing with like planetary bodies and pull and.
So can you pick me up some gravity when you go to the store next time?
Well, no, I can't pick up a planet.
Is gravity in the planet?
Well, the theory of gravity has to do with large bodies, doesn't it?
It
yeah, but also black holes.
And
sure,
moreover,
black holes. Yeah, I can't hand you a black hole.
Right? I feel gravity.
Sure.
However weak, no matter how far away I am from your massive body.
Sure. Hey, that's untowards. I'm not that big, but okay, go ahead.
Well, he didn't want to say heavenly body, so.
Smart. I didn't intend that, Mo. Yeah. So if gravity is not physical, if this doesn't count as a force, then what does?
So when we're talking about rights and force, let me try to clarify.
All right, sorry, I have to go. I've got to sleep, but I love these discussions. It's just the best discussions happen when you're too tired to have them. So
that is true.
For
It's
all
good talking to you, buddy.
good talking to both you guys all the time. For all 2 of you watching the stream, one of them is probably me with a tab. This is Reexamination.
Everybody
Patrick Finnegan.
go subscribe to Rex. Give him a follow. Give him a like.
Thanks, and everybody subscribe to the Chipingro and be in waiting for premium logic courses and Mo Rebuttal as well for premium debates and chaotic debate panels coming up very, very soon.
Yeah. See you later, bud.
Later.
Okay, so let me let me try to paint this picture. So when we're talking about rights, my whole point was rights don't inherently exist because the only thing that makes a right real in the physical reality is some sort of force behind it. Now you can have fear of force to enact, and that's force, but there's all at the end of the day, there's still like a at the end of that fear, there's going to be some physical correction to enforce those rights.
And I'm trying to understand what you mean by physical.
So physical force would be, in most stripped down version, would be a couple thousand guys decide they don't want to, deal with the current government, and they decide to overthrow it. They're going to use force and violence to overthrow the government.
That didn't help me.
Okay, so when well, then explain to me what you're looking for. Maybe I can describe it better.
I'm asking what would otherwise be a very silly question, because this is a very technically in-depth question that
okay.
you're spelling out. So bear with me, even though it seems silly.
All right, just real quick before you go into that, we got K2 backstage. K2, welcome.
Shalom.
Shalom. We're in the deep philosophical waters here, so go ahead, continue.
Well, I get that. I just want to say really quick, you guys made me really hungry talking about 3.14. I really want a slice. I'm sorry, I'm joking. I needed to make that joke.
What's your one? What's your favorite one? You an apple pie guy? You're a
I really love cherry. I really love cherry pie.
Okay.
And I'm driving through a tornado warning right now.
Okay. Well, that's.
I might get picked up, and you'll know what happened.
Okay. Well, we'll hope that doesn't happen. But if it starts coming at you, find a ditch and get in. I hear that works. Like if you get in the ditch, right? Something like that. I don't know.
We'll see what happens. I'm in the middle of Detroit. There's no ditches.
And the overpass is generally where.
Yeah, well, all of is it all of Detroit a ditch? No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I don't mean to derail. I just wanted to drop that pie joke.
Yeah, no worries, man. So continue,
Shapiro. Are you a pie guy or a Tau guy? That's the really important question.
Oh.
If we're talking about real pie, there's nice cherry pie. Always.
Sticking with the
Rex just popped in. He's asking KT, are you in Illinois? Because he said, say hello to Steelborn.
Nope, I'm in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Nope, Detroit. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, I just passed the Port Huron sign.
So okay, so yeah, go ahead and carve this turkey for us, Shipping Girl.
Yeah. I want to know what you mean by physical. Like
physical.
Does it require something tangible to be physical?
Well, in the context of the discussion of force, it would be anything that is used to anything that would be used to forcibly move someone or correct someone into the manner that you want to do. So physical could be something like if a nation's going to war with someone else, it bombs. It could be if you have someone in your house and you don't want them there, you physically grab them and throw them out. It could be et cetera, et cetera. That would be in the context of physical when we're talking about enforcing correction in someone to achieve whatever that person who's doing the enforcement wants, whether it be good or bad, is moral claim that's irrelevant to the descriptor claim of force doctrine being a thing.
We're new to each other, so I don't want to go too
Sure.
hard. But you did use the word in the definition there, so I'm still.
Okay,
like,
so then just
I could bend over and say, oh yeah, I know what you mean, but I really don't. So.
Okay.
I'm being a little bit pedantic, because
Okay.
I want to know, does this mean, like, do I have to be able to reach out and touch somebody to use force on them?
Well, not necessarily. It depends on the application of the force. So once again, the fear of force can be a motivator to do something, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a physical correction that if they don't follow it, that happens. But instead of me like throwing definitions at you, why don't you just, I guess, ask me some questions and maybe I can clarify it that way.
Well, what I'm trying to understand is force, and again, the OG force, as Newton described, is gravity, and this does not have a physical component.
I see.
It's directly associated to physical objects, but there's no physical component that I can point to that is the force. So you're using this phrase in a way that, in common parlance, we all kind of get. We all kind of have a gist of what force is. But then you were using it in a very specific way, especially when Rex was asking you some questions there. And at that level, I don't think the hand-wavy, force works.
So, have you ever read any, and it's actually, I think this is a good case for this, even though I don't entirely agree with this philosophy in its entirety.
Probably
but
not. I'm not much
are
of a
you
reader.
familiar? Okay, so have you ever heard of the philosophy of word games?
I can.
Ludwig
use some
Wittgenstein,
context
yeah, Ludwig Wittgenstein. Anyway, long and short of it is, you go over to your friend's house, right? They're a very talented sculptor. They can make lifelike sculptures of things, right? Food, etc. And you know this. You walk into their place, and you see an apple, and you point at it, and you say, "Is that real?" In the context of the conversation, they understand. They say, "Yes, it is real." You grab the apple, take a bite. It's fine. If you were to walk into a grocery store and point at an apple and say, "Is that real?" they would have by rights, to lock you up in a loony bin, right? So the idea is that the context in the whatever word game you're playing matters, and to some degree gives the words meaning through use. So when I'm talking about force, I'm not talking about Newton's force, gravity, that sort of thing. I'm talking about the force when it comes to enacting like law enforcement, or that's another, or the force to move someone, or the force to harm them if they don't do what you want. That is the context and the word game that we're engaging in when we discuss force, when it comes to rights and things like that.
I mean, if it's just at that level, then I have to question why this is reserved for men.
Because, well, so when you say reserved for men, what do you mean by that?
If we are playing, as you put it, the game, where what we mean is ability to have physical affectation, you kept saying move things over and over again, which is implying some kind of strength.
Sure.
ability to manifest your will in a physical way. Okay. Which is why I very specifically wanted to know if it has to be physical. And you kind of backed away from that. No, it doesn't necessarily have to be physical. There are these other addition of things.
Well, to clarify, the fear of force can be used, but the fear force is only the fear force is only effective if there's actually
right.
actual physical force behind the threat, right? So the point is at the end of the day, if the fear doesn't work, then there is just brute force.
Okay, and if I have some leverage, well, not I, because I'm not a woman, but if some woman has some leverage over you, by which they can instill some fear of them performing an action that is going to make your life uncomfortable.
Right.
Is that not?
So let me see if I can, let me see if I can still man a little bit what you're saying. You're saying that, let's say a woman, or whatever it means, it could be manipulation, it could be getting a bunch of other people to side with her against you.
She could be your boss.
She could be your boss, right?
An administrator at the school you go to, whatever.
Right. So if it's something along that lines, well, if she's an administrator, if she's the, well, I think there's a difference there though. If she's the, let's say, an admin, right, or your manager, that is, you could say that's a fear, but that's not the same thing as making you do something, because you're voluntarily being, at that job. So it's not like, I don't think that would qualify as force doctrine. Now, more aptly would be is if, let's say you're in some situation where the woman convinces a bunch of other people to side with her and say, you're going to do this, and if you don't, then they're going to use their, obviously there's more of them, they'll use their collective force to make you do it. Would you say that's in line with your question?
It is in line with my question. I'm stumbling at the first part. Why the distinction? Again, it sounds to me like what you're saying is the distinction is it has to be physical at the end of the day.
Yeah. So in the case that I gave you, is that what you're getting at? Like, why wouldn't the woman be using force doctrine at that point?
Right now, I'm just trying to understand, does it have to be physical or not?
In what regard?
To apply force doctrine, does the application I'm using on somebody else have to be a physical application? Do I have to have some object by which I am, my hands, a stick, something, a gun, some physical object that I'm using to affect the change? Is that what you mean by force?
Let me go back. We had the hypothetical there with the woman. Let me just answer that, and then I'll come back to this question. The reason I was trying to clarify and to answer that question regarding to a woman, yes, that would be force. She would be that would be force, but she's also getting like other people to do it for her, right? It's still force. It's a descriptor claim.
Well, I didn't
now
introduce
going back.
The other people. You introduced the other people.
Well, then she would have no average. If a woman wants to force you to do something, on average she has no, against a man. Average woman against average man, she wouldn't be able to do shit. So she would have to appeal to someone else. Physically, yes.
Physically. Okay.
Right.
So you are sticking to a physical realm.
Sure.
Okay. So then I need to know what we mean by physical. Because I would say that gravity is physical. But
well, I already clarified that we're not talking like I'm not going to drop a moon on you, right? So I don't understand why is, like, if I'm saying that force doctrine is a descriptor claim, what does that have to do with gravity? I don't understand the connection.
I'm being exceedingly pedantic.
Sure, that's fine.
I like to understand what people are trying to say. Because at the end of the day, using my exceeding pedantry, I would point out that you've never actually physically interacted with anything.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of the day, the interactions that are happening are all force interactions between charged particles. These are interactions that happen at a distance, just like gravity.
Okay.
So it is just like gravity at the end of the day. So now I don't know if you understand what you mean when you say force.
No, I
On one
definitely
hand, you
do.
reject it.
But I get the point you're saying. We can get into the weeds and saying like, okay, yeah, it's related to physical force and it's the same reality and physical nature in which gravity works and all these other things. But once again, going back to when we're talking about laws and rights, when we say force, like so like if you commit a crime and the police show up to arrest you and they're gonna like put you in handcuffs, are you gonna sit there and say, well, technically you're not gonna interact with me because because you have no way to interact with me because you have no way to touch me, right?
But then I struggle with the initial premise, because if we agree that force is just whatever is utilized to affect change or manifest change, then there are many ways that people can do this, and many of them, you know, like this is the nerd winning out in the long run. He's not using physical force. He's outsmarting his opponent. A woman has...
Can you give me an example?
Okay, here's an easy one. Can a woman wield a gun?
Yes.
All right. Is that gun the kind of force that will affect change in the way that you're talking about?
That gun is, yes, that would be a way, but here's the thing. The woman does not have the same capability to use weaponry as men do, and that's why men have the monopoly on force.
Come on.
Yes. No, you come on. So you're telling me the average woman is going to be able to strap a rifle to her with all the rations she needs for the day, with all the ammo she needs, and go the same distance as the man?
The average woman who's carrying is not running a loadout for World War III. She's carrying a small pistol that, back in the day, they fit neatly in the pin of your hat. They could make them so small.
Right, but if you put that woman, okay, let's say equally geared, average woman versus average man, who do you think's gonna come out on top?
Oh, the man, no doubt.
Okay, well then that's all that I'm saying. That's the descriptor claim right there.
But that doesn't preclude the woman from having access to the use of force in the way that you stated.
To a degree. It depends, right? Because here's the situation. At the end of the day, if you can make, I can even grant that, right? Yes, that she can use somewhat, not to the same degree, because women only have like, I think like at most 60% grip strength as men. You know, you already admit that men are much stronger. So she could delve into it to a certain degree, but only to the extent that men allow it. Because if you put 1,000 men up against 1,000 women, there's not a damn thing they can do against them.
When has that ever happened in human history?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't need to have happened I can just grant that. Let's say it never happened. That's why it's a descriptor claim. It's a description of reality.
But it fails to be a descriptor where it doesn't meet with the reality of more people having access to this ability. Like, who's gonna win 9 times out of 10? A scrawny 4'10" guy with no muscles, or a 6'4" guy with a shotgun?
Well, obviously the bigger guy, but that just goes to my point.
All right, now switch it. Give the scrawny guy a shotgun. Who's gonna win?
It depends. Can he lift it?
Come on.
How strong are we talking here?
Bro.
Well, no. Have you ever held a 12 gauge shotgun? They're not light.
Yes, I have. My shoulder has screamed out in regret for using.
Yeah, so...
No, I'm well aware. I've had guns put in my hand from a tiny age. I never really got as fond of them as everybody else in my family, but I'm well aware of these things. It doesn't take that much to wield one.
Okay, well let's just say the scrawny guy has an advantage because he has the shotgun and the big guy doesn't. But that just goes to my point because he would have the force, the superior force in that situation.
It does, but it also reinstates that there are other modes of force than the raw physical strength that we are gifted with as men.
Sure, but also that has an entailment of the men who are stronger can use that force more effectively, can they not?
By entailment, do you mean ought use?
No, I mean like your claim is that the scrawny guy would have more force in that scenario, and I agreed. But if they both had the shotgun, the big guy would probably have a better odd of coming out on top.
If they both have the shotgun, it's whoever is better practiced with the weapon.
Okay.
Do you disagree with that?
I would agree with that to some degree, but here's the situation,
this is why
though,
we
right?
don't want people having firearms in their house if they're not trained with it, because more often than not, they hurt themselves.
Well, I would probably disagree with that, but that's another discussion for the day. So when it comes to, we're talking, here's another issue. We're talking about this 1-to-1 ratio of two guys, and my claim, the descriptor claim of force and how men have a monopoly on force has to do with the generality of the world, like women versus like what men can do versus what women can do. And so also when I'm talking about enacting laws or change to any large degree, it's not going to be like just one guy with a shotgun. It's going to be a couple thousand guys who are willing to use violence and to achieve their goals, like what we saw in Iran.
I have no disagreement with that. The only place I get disagreement is when you say that this cuts women out of that equation, because, like...
I never said it cuts them out, but the descriptor claim is that they can only participate to the extent that men allow it.
Yeah. To me, you didn't say cut them out. That was my paraphrase, and I apologize.
Yeah.
I wrongly paraphrased, but...
Yeah, no worries.
Since you brought up the word games, like, isn't that what you mean? That they are requiring men to be let in?
Well, they have to appeal to men to be let in.
Okay, so otherwise they would be cut out.
Well, not otherwise. Men would have to decide that they're cut out. If you want to use that terminology.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
real
like,
quick, one
like
last
you,
one, and then I'll get out of your hair. You both get guns. You versus Annie Oakley. Who wins?
Annie who?
Annie Oakley, the Wild West sharpshooter.
Sounds familiar. Annie Oakley. I'm not sure I know. No, wait, that's not. Annie Oakley.
Oakley. Arguably the most famous female shooter. She used a shotgun to hit targets while looking in a mirror and shooting behind her.
Oh.
She did quick draw stuff.
Uh-huh. So she has a gun, I have a gun, and we're against each other?
Yep.
Are we in the woods?
You can be wherever the heck you want, buddy.
Okay, yeah. So trick shots, I'll just say this, trick shots don't map on to combat necessarily, right? You can look at like current quick draw shooters and see the ridiculous shit they do to like get time off their draw, and it's like ridiculous the stuff they do. So if I'm in the woods,
she has with the weapon.
if I'm in the woods and she's in the woods, I would just wait her out until she gets weakened and then come back and kill her.
Okay.
Yeah. Because she can't go as long as I can in the woods. She can't track.
yeah,
She can't move. She lacks the manly physical strength. So I would just use my manly physical strength to like chill in the woods until eventually I just want to go and pick her off.
At least you have a sense of humor, bud.
I don't. But can we agree that trick shots don't map onto combat?
Absolutely, we can agree to that. Can we also agree that the amount of time and practice she's had with the weapon is going to make her in almost any scenario better than any of us?
I wouldn't say any scenario.
Do you
I don't know
think
about any
you're
scenario.
anywhere near the amount of hours shooting that she would have?
No, but here's the thing. You also have to think about this, right? Let's just take me out of it, right? Let's just take a guy who's like a gun enthusiast. He's fit and he's used to running guns, right? Average guy. He has quicker reaction. He has more density in his ligaments. He has, et cetera, right? Can name off all these things. There's a reason why they've had teenage soccer boys beat professional league soccer women teams, right? Like, and this has happened like repeatedly, and it's like a big joke.
Yeah, no.
So,
but you're not talking to one of these new age men and women are completely the same. There's no difference.
No, I get it.
Like,
but in
happening.
that hypothetical, right? Like, you can look at the professional soccer players, right? They have more time at that thing they do than these teenage boys, and they still get fucking smoked.
I understand that.
Yeah,
but we
that's my
also
point.
know, and if we are being the average, I don't think the average male is a gun enthusiast in our country.
Well, no, I bake that into the hypothetical, an average gun enthusiast. Like,
well, of course,
I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that.
Condition.
Well, you said I could have it any way I want it. You said I could have it any way I want it.
I said you.
I was just using what you gave
Annie
me.
Oakley could have it any way you wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna smoke that bitch.
But all right.
She's not even gonna see it coming.
Well, Mo,
So.
I would love to do this again with you at some point. It's been
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed the back and forth, and don't worry about being like granular and stuff. I enjoy being challenged on my worldview. So yeah.
There's something I'm noticing. Like, I am only getting into y'all's side of the panelverse because of hanging out with Rex, talking to Rex.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go way harder on each other when you're debating, but then you're way more chill on the back end. And
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I have a strong appreciation of that, but I'm used to the side where everybody has to walk on eggshells constantly. So until a little bit more rapport gets built out, I have a harder time really going balls to the wall.
No, I have noticed that too. And because so I turn back the clock 2016, right? I'm not very political at the time. I didn't know shit about anything really, debate, politics, whatever. And that's when Trump was coming up, and I had a lot of people who in my circle who were very much left-leaning, and they hated Trump. And I was curious, so I started asking questions, and I noticed, like, okay, even in just asking questions, to your point, walking on eggshells, right? They would just like, rah, 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 just go off on me, just like try to eat me alive. And obviously, me being my personality, when I got that reaction, it just made me want to question more and, go into it. And, anyway, my point is that in that environment, I've been in groups where to your point, yeah, it's like walking on eggshells. You don't know, like, okay, if I say this, you know, we get in a disagreement, they're not even gonna freaking talk to me anymore. Or they're gonna hold against me. This is gonna be this bitter rivalry. But when it comes to the current debate community, VK, you know, with Rex, I mean, even Rex have gotten in disagreements and arguments. All these other guys, at the end of the day, we're going after each other's arguments, and I think to a large degree, a lot of people know that and accept that. And then after that, I've been on Easy's channel, and we've just been yelling at each other at nights, and then like the next day or the next stream, we go up and it's like nothing ever happened, right? And so I do appreciate that, and I think if you're gonna challenge and help sharpen each other's worldviews and opinions, I think you kind of have to take that approach, because if you don't, then it's not sustainable, you know?
No, you're absolutely right. There's a delicate balance that I'm trying to figure out, because I come from more of an old school, very manners heavy. Like I didn't do well in COD lobbies. Let's put it that way.
Man, yeah, those COD lobbies or Halo lobbies, man, they're pretty brutal times. Pretty brutal times.
There's a different ethos in certain parts of the internet in which, like, the problem that I have is everybody's having fun in games, except for that one guy who thinks that we're all being serious. And it kind of ruins it for everybody. So I'm trying to, I still believe that building rapport is the best way to get into those more meaty conversations. But you are right. We shouldn't be walking on eggshells. Nobody is doing anybody any services by being so polite. We're not actually investigating anything.
Yeah. It's it just, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to when you have to have the mindset that when someone is questioning you over something you said or assertion or a worldview, whatever, and they're trying to go at you, you have to look at them going after the argument and not you, the person. But the problem with a lot of people is that when you do that with them, they have attached their identity so much to that thing that it does feel like a personal attack. And so they struggle with that. So I think that's one thing that I see a lot. Yeah. So, but
oh well.
Yeah. But yeah, great having you up, man. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I'm actually yeah, lovely meeting you. I think I'm gonna call it here.
Are we gonna get together at some point to do that that discussion that Rex was talking about, the different modes of government potentially?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I think it's 29th. I think he has it scheduled for.
Oh, sweet. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I'll have to do my homework so that we can lock horns.
Yeah.
Champions.
I'll be honest, like politics is not my forte, right? But I do have like some general ideas with this, and I do need to kind of fine tune it a little bit in preparation. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the discussion.
You participate. That is your duty as an American. That's admirable.
I'm just saying that. I'm saying that when it comes to politics, I'm not a necessarily a political debater, because one, I'm not like you. Okay, someone like Rob Noor, right? You talk to this guy, someone brings up, the Supreme Court in 2000 ruled on blah blah blah, and he's like, oh yeah, I know, and he talks about it like I don't know, like I have no freaking clue. I mean, I can, if I know more about it, I can have an opinion on it, but to have it requires a large headspace and to be very much involved with it. I feel like, to be an actual political debater, and I'm still, I guess I'm interested in a lot of other things. I just haven't really focused on that, but I do try to. My approach is I just come in with. I try to use like logical reasoning and discuss it to the best of my ability, but that's all I can do.
Damn good approach.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
Have a good night, sir.
Catch up. at a future time.
Sounds great. Thanks for coming up.
Bye.
Bye. All right, chat. Well, that was fun. A little bit of BG3. Leaving. Oh, hey, Abby. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. We're just shutting down. Thanks for the like. Appreciate it. Glad to have you. We had a great little discussion with Rex and Chipingro. And went all around a little bit. We talked about philosophy in different avenues. Talked about force. Talked about gravity. We talked about pie a lot, which made K2 hungry. I tend to agree. I could go for some pie right now, but I think this is where we're going to end it. So thanks everybody for showing up. Had a great time. You guys take care, and I'll catch you next time on the next stream. God bless. See you next time.